congratulations on your big win today. Can you explain what you're feeling right now? First win at the MLF level.
It's a little bit of a relief. I honestly left last year frustrated with myself because I couldn't win, and I got caught up in a couple of good strong brackets, and guys really caught them. Early on this year, we got caught up in a bracket or two where guys jumped out the big league. So to me, more just a relief that I got it done.
Today you only had 2 violations, and that was only 4 minutes of penalty time. Were you really concentrating extra hard today in effort to keep them to a minimum?
I have here lately in this event, and even last year, I really started focusing on how you land your fish and things you do and trying to avoid those silly 2-minute penalties. So a little bit of that went into plan today, and the way you're fishing, the style, the rods, the line, that you have the equipment to throw them over in the boat and hold them. So yeah, a little bit more attention to try not to take sit-down time.
There's a lot of drama out there in the water today. This is the last tournament of a 2-year cycle for points. Top 2 are in here out of the select level. Bottom 2 in the cup level will drop out at the end of this season. You had a big role to play. Even though you weren't in the points running for one of those 2 spots, you definitely played the spoiler role today.
I did, and I'll be honest with you now, I don't really like that. I mean, in other words, I'm not going to celebrate in the fact that Christie, if I put Christie in and out of the points, because I've been there, won an angler a year. I've also been 2 or 3 points off winning it, so I know what it's like to have a spoiler alert. So I don't take any pride or anything of putting that man out. That all those guys fished their butts off. I just hate that I was a part of it today. I mean, I wanted to win, and unfortunately, when I won, it changed the things right at the top. So my hat's still off them guys. It was tight, a lot tighter than what I think you guys expected it was going to come down to, and I've said it all along. When you put skin in the game, these guys play it to the bitter end, and it's just the way it played out.
Gerald, now that you've competed in a number of MLF events, do you think that you're better equipped to fish in this format?
I'm learning more about it. I don't know that I'd say I'm better equipped, but I sure am learning. I thought when I come out here to fish my first MLF, you just get in the boat and junk fish, which is what I do best, but it's not that easy. I'm really having to learn to deal with that score tracker, cameraman. There's a lot going on to film the show, so there's a lot of distractions, and honestly, in the first couple, I haven't done that well with that. Usually when I fish, it's pretty quiet, pretty peaceful. This whole deal's took a little bit getting used to. The score tracker, I think, has made me fish fast and do stuff I normally wouldn't do. So I don't know that I'm better equipped, but I've actually learned a little bit more about, I call it kind of waiting patient in the pocket like a passer and a quarterback. Don't spook out early. 2 tournaments, I just got nervous early because guys caught them, and I just kind of like run out of the pocket. It's like I got to go do something. I feel like as I went into the day, I'm learning to just kind of keep your feet still and just fish and kind of let the day come to you. Don't chase what everybody else is doing.
Well, perfect example of that. At the end of the first period, you had 3 fish, 5 pounds, 6 ounces. You ended the day well over 30 pounds. It was a track meet the last half of the day. The first half of the day, you were on the bottom. I don't remember if you were the last segment, but you were looking up.
Right, I got down toward the bottom, and I think that was, even at that point of the day, I kept thinking to myself, don't panic, don't pay attention to what Jason's doing, don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing, simply pay attention to what I'm doing. And I made a move down to the bottom end of the lake, and it was kind of silly because I just seen some birds diving, and I idled all the way down there, picked up, started flipping grass, and the difference is that I'm fishing my game, and I think once you do that, you establish this confidence, and it's a wall of confidence that you can endure some of those battles, and Lord only knows there toward the end the battle got pretty heated.
What did you catch them on today?
I caught most of my fish today flipping 40-pound SX Sunline with a 3/4 ounce tungsten weight. I started out flipping the Zoom Z-Crawl, which is like a big creature style bait. I didn't have anything small to flip, and I kept missing a few fish, and I ain't gonna lie about it because it's gonna be on TV. I'm not sponsored by Strike King. I've been with Zoom for 20 years, and I've always had that Strike King menace in the boat. I like it. It was the only thing I had small, the only thing I had dark in color, so I put black and blue on there, and I started flipping it, and I started catching them, which kind of told me that the fish wanted something small. And by a smaller bait in the 40-pound line instead of that big heavy stuff, it enabled me to get in places with smaller baits that I wouldn't normally do. So it was kind of the key to me, was flipping a little bit of black and blue crawl.
You were up against some pretty tough competitors today. Does it make you feel good to have beaten those guys?
It does. I think at this level, Allie, when you fish, you know that I know what each one of these guys can do. I've seen them in MLF, I've seen them in Elite Series. To come out here and beat them heads up, yeah, it's a good feeling. But I looked at that bracket today. There's nobody in this six that hadn't caught him in these deals. Nobody. I mean, I look at Chapman, he's fished him well. Poche's fished him well. Christie's fished him well. Scanlon, he's fished him well. I mean, it's just kind of fell. Kevin Short's made runs out, and I was thinking there's nothing here that's going to be a gimme, because all these guys that going in today, I felt like had a better grip of how to fish MLF than I did.
You came out on top.
Huh, finally. Kind of like a little skinny dude with a fat girl at the fair. I kind of come out on top on this one, boys. Give me my candied apple.
Gerald, your win today qualifies you later this year for the MLF Challenge Cup. It'll be your first experience there. Not your first experience against guys like Van Dam and Ayler and Skeet Reese and Ish Monroe, et cetera, but first one at the cup level. Are you going to change any of your preparation up as you go into that?
Man, I don't think so. I think going into that deal, yeah, I recognize those guys and I compete against them on a daily basis from circuit to circuit. I know their capabilities and as well as they know mine. It's going to be exciting to go do it. I think it's a little different format than I'm used to, but I learned a bunch here about how to pack, not carrying too much. There's a fine line between getting bogged down with tackle and having too much stuff in that boat. So as I move to the Cup Series, I'm going to carry some of that education process about taking that flambeau box and packing it with a variety of baits, simplifying what I'm doing, not getting in the boat and getting choked down with just digging and tackle. Keep the baits that you feel like you can do the most damage with in those areas and keep them handy.
Along those lines, what can you tell us about the format of Major League Fishing, and is it the future of tournament fishing, as some are saying?
I think what MLF brings to the forefront of fishing and tournament fishing is fast action, fast pace, the basses, the superstars showing, the anglers chasing this fish. I think the way MLF pushes that on TV, it's truly what guys feel out in a tournament situation. It's not, some of the stuff's not beauty shots, they're just straight on grinding, just getting it done. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. I think a lot of people crave that type of show where it's in your face, heads up. I think it's the future of how tournament fishing is going to be seen on TV through social media, GoPro, and things, because it is smaller venues, it is heads up. You get to really watch what the anglers can do. There's not a lot of secrets. I mean, for instance, I'm sitting here today, I can't lie about what I caught them on. So I think that's what MLF brings to the forefront is. It pretty much is what it is, and it's going on the screen like that. So if you get in a heated discussion or out on the water, it's going to air. And if you sure enough get in a slugfest, well, the people at home is going to get to enjoy it on the water because it's coming. I mean, there's no timeouts in that. It's the real time, in your face fishing.
Small water today. You couldn't run wide open around the lake. How did that come into play?
I thought it was a neat twist. I like keeping things fresh, and when we pulled up this morning, it was dark. I couldn't really see much. I knew he was in some subdivision, and he said, the surprise is this is a no-wake only. So I immediately thought, this is a great strategy. How do you do it? How do you address it? Do you idle off too far? It was just something else to mix in the puzzle to make you think about where you started, how you fish back, and if you'll notice, a lot of times I would try to idle away and fish my way back to save time. So it was a neat little concept to idle only.
You and Commissioner Don Rooks, both of you like kind of gigging each other, and you've done that all week. How satisfying was it today for him to shake your hand as the winner?
It was pretty good because I was sure busting him up this morning when I wasn't catching him in this private lake. I was like, good Lord Almighty, Commissioner, I said, we forgot to tell the fish to come here. So I like giving him a hard time, and when we got there, we think in private lake it's going to be, there's locals that fish here in the homes, but it doesn't see the pressure of other lakes. We're thinking, oh, this is going to be just a total melee. We're going to kill them. And man, I think after the first quarter, we were all sitting there going, uh-oh, this ain't going to be what we thought it was. It turned out being a grind. But at the end of the day, I said it on camera. I'm sorry, Commissioner, for making fun of you and your fishing hole.
So, you and Chrissy kind of bounced back and forth a little bit on the leaderboard. Did you ever get nervous, or does that pressure start coming?
No.
I'd be a nervous wreck.
Last year, I was telling today, last year at Dardanelle, I made a come from behind and almost beat Christie on the last day in the Elite Series. He got me by 4 ounces and cost me $80,000. And so since then, I've been trying to get the Indian back, and it felt pretty good to get him there at the end of the day. I don't know if I feel the pressure, as much as I like the adrenaline. I like the fact of sitting right there on that edge, knowing anything could happen. There's some sick part of me that likes that, knowing that the guy behind me, I feel like, is one of the top flippers in the circuit, and I know that any minute that score tracker could say, score tracker update, Jason Christie took the lead, so I kind of like that.
Did you find it crucial to find unfished water?
I think so. I think my strategy toward the end was to go back to an area of the lake that I had a few bites this morning, but I didn't see a lot of my competitors in. I felt like the bank right down from the ramp on the left and right were the most highly fished. So on round 3, man, I bounced back there where I didn't see many people. I'd had a few bites this morning, so the deal is I knew there was fish back there, and it gave me the confidence to slow down. And once you start catching them, it's a great feeling to know that this ain't beat to death, that you could really just start unraveling how many fish is in there. So I think my decision in the 3rd round was spot on money.
Gerald, you guys talk about confidence a lot. You talk about momentum. You're about to begin the second half of your year. You've got several events rolling out here as you finish up here in Youngstown, Ohio. What does today do? I know you're going to be competing on other circuits, also going to the Cup later. What does this do for you going forward?
I think it doesn't matter what you're fishing, whether you're going to go back and fish the FLW or you're going to fish the Elite Series or the Forest Wood Cup, it doesn't matter. Confidence is confidence. When you come here and you beat the guys that you have the utmost respect for, and that's the key. When we're out there cutting up, I mean, I'm around the ramp, and they're all laughing and cutting up, but I don't take it that lightly. I truly know these are the best that I could get up against at the time, and I got a lot of respect for them. And when you beat them on a heads-up battle like that, you have to lead with confidence. I don't think you stand on the curb and yell it, hey, I beat Jason Christie or I beat Brent Chapman, because that'd be stupid. But in your mind, to be able to say I climbed that mountain today and I can climb it again tomorrow is huge for me going into Lake Ontario as we go to the St. Lawrence River. Confidence is confidence. I don't care how you get it. It's a valuable tool when it comes to bass fishing, is to believe in yourself.
All right, anybody with any last questions? All right, that's the G-Man, Gerald Swindle, our champion today on day 6. Congratulations, Gerald.
There you go.